Guys, there's a path for you to retire and be worth millions upon millions of dollars. It's not a gimmick. It's a simple process, but it is not easy. I'm going to show you the way, and my goal in this video is to give you the information to retire with millions of dollars in your real estate portfolio. And if you're just starting in real estate, it may sound daunting, but all you have to do is buy one good property per year. I started with one unit at the age of 22, and now I have over 1,000 units. Let me walk you through how simple this could be. So there's an old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. We have this plan. I've been talking about this for years, where if you buy one great property per year and you invest $25,000, you could retire decades later with $10.8 million in net worth. And this is only making 15% per year. Now you might be saying, Paul, 15% is a lot. It is a lot. But for real estate, it's very attainable, especially if you're somebody who is operating and owning the properties yourself. Guys, when I started buying real estate, I started with a single family home and then a 2-family home. And then luckily for me, I had some money with my family and we went and bought apartment buildings. And boy, am I glad I did that. But guess what? I wasn't going to be able to do that without starting with one unit. And buying that one unit dipped my toe in to let me understand. And guess what I did? I massively overpaid for that one unit. That one unit, though, taught me so much that the next 1,000 units went very, very well. I love owning real estate. And before, my goal was have as many properties as possible. Not anymore. My goal now is to have as many great properties as possible. Now I have the infrastructure. I have the people. I went and made it a legitimate business. And 21 years later, I have these 1,000 units and we're still going to continue to grow. But here's what's interesting. I recently started buying 4 or 5 rental homes for myself. I wanted luxury, lakefront, or vacation kind of rentals. I wanted to focus on that for myself. These are separate of my company. Let me show you one of these deals. Actually, it's 3 of these deals. I put 3 of these deals in one of our real estate calculators. So here's our real estate calculator. It is what I use every single day to look at my real estate. I put in my number of units, appreciation rate, vacancy. Look at this vacancy, 55%. Now, for these 3 houses, I paid $7.6 million, plus I'm putting $1.5 million into them. I put my income, my expenses, my rehab costs, my mortgage, my refinance money, boom, gives me my IRR. And look at my IRR, 18.59% over the next 20 years. That's a lot. And guess what? Negative cash flow, positive cash flow going up. And you see right here, big checks. Well, what are these big checks? These big checks are my refinance dollars. Refinancing is such an incredible way to build wealth in real estate. All it does is says, hey, listen, you're going to buy a property, you're going to rehab it, you're going to put money into it. I'm putting furniture, pickleball courts, boats, things like that, a pool to make the house more attractive and get the rents higher. Then I start renting it out. Then what do I do? Down the road, I refinance because the value skyrocketed. These values grow to $11.5 million in the next 7 years. And then I refinance it. What that does is it gives me a new loan and I get a big check. And guess what, guys? This big check, tax-free. When you refinance, it's tax-free. Why? You didn't earn any income. All you did was you got cash and you got a debt. That's it. There's no income hit there. Now, when I meet with my staff to talk about these houses, you know what the first thing I say is, how do we get the highest rents? That's absolutely my goal in every single deal I do. And guys, remember, you're looking at this saying, Paul, I can't afford $2.5 million. Guys, take a 0 off. Take a 0 off and this is still 3 houses. Then it's $300,000 a house. Can you afford that? Yeah, you probably can. And if you can't afford it, you're probably closer than you think. But I want you to be thinking about how you can charge the highest rents and find that one really good deal per year where you can dominate in your market. And even better, if you're the kind of person who's hands-on, who can do your own renovation, your own rehab work, you're going to make even more money. It'll allow you to go upgrade kitchens and bathrooms, the number one thing that tenants look for. If you upgrade those and you market those, you will get the best possible tenants. Now, a few things I want to get you guys to understand before we go any further. 1, I always hear people saying, I'm getting my team ready, my insurance agent, my banker, my real estate agent, my third-party manager. If you're doing that, you are a loser. Stop doing that. Absolutely stop doing that. Your banker's a loser. The real estate agent's probably a loser. No offense to any real estate agents you might know who are watching this video. Third-party managers, definite losers. They have no incentive to make you more money. Well, Paul, they get paid as a percentage of revenue. right. But if they can keep the property full instead of getting you higher rents by kicking out the tenant and getting a higher rent, they're not going to do that when it's only going to get them 5 to 10%. They're going to sit there and say, I'd rather do less work. You're the only person in charge of your money. All those people you might mention as part of your team, the second you have your back against the wall, you think they're going to come in there and say, let me help out. Oh, mine will. All right, let me know how it goes. Because I've been there. I've had all of them, several of each one. And I'm okay with them not having my back. I've learned my lesson. I will move on and support myself and only myself. Guys, there's so much more that goes to buying a piece of property. And the thing that I do that allows me to sit there and understand how well I'm doing while the numbers are small is whenever I buy a property, I add up all the profit I'm going to make for the next 20 years I own it, and I automatically assume I just made that. So for example, on these properties right here, I don't look at it and say, oh, I bought $9 million worth of real estate, and therefore it's making me $200,000 a year. No, I look at it and say, holy cow, I just made myself $60 million. Because that's what all the cash flows are on this property for the next 20 years. That's what I think to myself when I sell it and everything. So every single time I do deals like this, that's what I want to do for myself. I want you to do the same thing. If you're going to invest 25 grand a year for 30 years and make 15%, every time you do a deal, I want you to say, I just made $1.5 million because that's what you made. If you think about it that way, you'll get to your goals. You'll realize that you're there at some point. Every year you do it, you're just going to add up the money, the cash flow, the returns. That's all before taxes, of course. But and eventually you have to pay taxes on the money. Even the free finance money has to be paid down the road for a different reason. But that's the mentality you have to have, because if you're buying a property, this is $9 million. Let's say you're buying a $300,000 property. Your cash flow here is going to be $2,000 a year. That seems like crap. It is crap. But at the end of the day, that's how you build those blocks. When you started saving for retirement, you started saving by $100, $200 a month, $300 a month, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And guess what happens? Money grows like this. That's the thing you have to remember. And it's going to be a lot of work at the beginning, but remember, the work at the beginning is a lot and the work at the end is a lot. It's the same amount of work on one property. But at the end, it's worth a lot more money to you. You got to make the sacrifice today for doing that. Like I said, guys, there's a lot to this, and I want you to really understand everything going forward. So if you want to understand this, please download our full course on real estate. We have it in a PDF. If you click the link below, the PDF will be sent to you immediately upon you entering your email address. I'm absolutely telling you right now, real estate's a great way to go to build wealth. I will leave you with this. When I got into real estate, it was because my neighbor was a wealthy man. He sat me down one day. He said, Paul, what are you studying? I said, well, I like investing, blah, blah, blah. He said, Paul, have you ever thought about real estate? I said, not really. He said, Paul, go out there and find every rich person you know. They all own real estate. And that stuck with me. And he said, it's not going to be a no-brainer overnight. It takes time. And he's right. I've been doing it for 21 years, and I wake up now going, holy cow, I can't believe I have this much money from real estate. It's been awesome, and I want that for you. Thank you for your time.